Hi, everybody. Forgot my mic. I'm not used to going on right now. I'm going to do this as a video so that I can start over if I need to. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty used to just winging it. And if I screw up, I screw up, right? It's funny, like when you tell the truth and you don't have anything to hide, you don't generally have to, edit things or worry about how they come out. You kind of just go with your gut and trust that. So, anyway, today I was really just planning on having a quiet day and going live tonight with a really just kind of nice little, live, nothing too exciting. But then I watched uh, Sammy's after the bars live. Actually, I watched it on replay because I was literally playing with my dogs and goofing off and having a good time. Living life, real life. But, it's one of my hobbies, living life. But anyway, I watched that, and then I thought, "You know what?" I had seen about the last 5 minutes of it, and I thought, "Do you wanna reply or not?" I was kinda him-hawing around about it, but then whenever I watched Sammy's video and, saw in the context with his receipts with the actual, text messages between him and Unrelatable Reese, I thought, "You know what? I'm not gonna just be quiet. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of her stamping her little foot. Actually, it's not that little. She wears about the same size I do. I know that because I was a big follower of her channel for a long time until I figured out that about 75 to 85% of what she said is bullshit. So, yeah, and I saw what she was doing to my friends, a lot of my friends, and what she continues to do to other people. And I'm sorry, but Relatable Reese, your little live that you did Saturday night calling everybody out, that's right. I got this little button just for Reese. I know it's silly and it's, juvenile, but, you know, consider the source. If I'm going to deal with a child, then I'm going to act like a child sometimes, or at least have fun with it. So I did write her a little letter, and since she's the one that blocks everybody, and then they all have me blocked, I can't apologize in person. Bullshit. Do I need to ring it again, Reese? You're not blocked anywhere. I don't know of anybody that has blocked you. That's just something else that you lie to your people about to get sympathy, and so you don't have to do anything. So your apology tour got to be one little half-ass, "I'm sorry," on a video that you knew nobody was freaking watching. Well, I take that back. You are so self-centered and narcissistic that I think it you honestly believe that we sit and watch everything you do. But until this morning, when I watched however long that clip was of Sammy's, I don't think I had watched maybe 5 minutes of you in 2 weeks, maybe, and that was actually probably last night when I watched, like, the last 5 minutes of your video from Saturday. Before that, I hadn't watched. I'd had people tell me what you said. I had transcripts sent to me. Now, if I'm not watching you, neither is everybody else that you like to think gives a flying shit what you're doing, because we really just don't. So, anyway, since I can't reach you, and if I did try to attempt to watch you and maybe leave a comment, even if it just said, "Hey, let's talk about this," your little minions would delete it under your orders, as they've always done. We all know your game, Reese. We all know. Just freaking stop. I make this promise to you. I make this promise. You stop with the lies and the empty threats of legal action because, ooh, it's a one, you have to both people have to know you're recording in Montana. Guess what? He didn't fucking record it in Montana. You recorded it in Tennessee. No law against playing it. No law. So anyway, I did write a little letter, and I know you're gonna say, "I heard that she said blah, 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 and I didn't watch," but you're watching. You're watching. Your little minions are watching and listening to every word. So I'm gonna give you some, but I'm gonna do it nice, mostly, because 'cause I'm not a hateful, heinous bitch like you. I don't call people names just for fun. I don't try to destroy people's channels for fun. I don't try to destroy men's lives for fun. That's you. That's you. That's the people that follow you. That's what they're following. All that. So your little cult can hate me all they want. I don't care. I do not care. They mean nothing to me. They mean everything to you because without them, that little money trail quits, doesn't it? And you might have to get a job because, like you said, I've got a husband to support me. What was that, Reese? You accused me of single shaming. Were you married shaming? That I don't have to work, even though I worked from the time I was 15 until just a few years ago when, I got cancer and I almost died for the second time. And my husband said, "Why are you working? You don't have to do this. Why are you dealing with this? You don't have to. We don't need your income. We can make it." And I said, "Okay." But guess what? Even then, I still worked. Yeah, I worked freelance. I wrote for newspapers and I took pictures and I painted. And I sold like, gosh, I don't know, close to 200 paintings. I'm pretty accomplished at that too. It's one of my hobbies, like playing with Play Doh and coloring books, like you suggested, only profitable. So now I'm going to read my little letter to Unrelatable Reese because nobody can relate to your nonsense. And if they do, God love them. I, you know, God love them. Lord, my allergies are bothering me still, y'all. So, Reese, I know you're watching, just like I, at least on occasion, watch you, sort of. So, I wanted to speak directly to you, or as directly as it's likely to get to you or your followers, since they like to hide behind fake names and fake accounts and make death threats to me while I'm on a live. That's classy. Classy. What was that? You like to wink? I can do it too. I got skills too, bitch. Okay, let's start with the lies. How about that? Or at least some of them. I mean, I don't have time to recount all of your lies. So I'm basically going to recount the lies that you did in like Saturday's video in the at least the last 5 or 10 minutes of it. So, okay. So, I'm sure there's a lot more. But this will lead to, give some context to the bullshit that you feed your people. I have literally never said that I want you to lose your channel, lose your son, lose your life, or lose anything, with the exception of the grifting and the manipulation. I have never said, nor do I know anybody who has said that you make $300,000 a year on super chats. If you could do that without grifting, my hat would be off to you, you know? I could only wish that for anybody. But then you had to even up it and say, "Let's double it, guys. Let's make it 600,000. Come on, y'all. Send me those super chats." Like that is what they call dry begging, grifting. look up the definitions. It might look familiar. I am not jealous of you, your channel, or really anything else. I can't think of anyone or anything that I'm jealous of. I don't begrudge you your channel. I don't begrudge you your subscribers. I don't even begrudge you your super chats. As long as you're not yeah, manipulating people to get them. That's my beef. Is when you manipulate people and lie to get those. And we know you do it, Reese. You can sit there and say you don't. Your little people can say, she's not manipulating me. I send her money because I want to. I send her those friend taxes. I send her those grifter taxes. I send her those, blah, 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 whatever. You know what you're doing. You try to act like you're stupid till this last video, and then all of a sudden you think you're brilliant. But before that, you were always stupid because you were raised in a cult and you don't know any better. Bullshit. Some of the smartest people I happen to know were raised in that cult. Liz Gale sound familiar? Pretty damn smart. Natalie? Pretty damn smart. Aaron? Pretty damn smart. Do you want me to go on? I can. I don't like the lies and your manipulation that are used to get those super chats and other kinds of support. I've had people who have since left your channel that have said that they might have only given you $5, but it was the equivalent of $100 to them because they're on a very fixed income and they can't afford to do it. But they were so worried about you and wanted to help you and wanted your support, wanted to support you and wanted you to love them, wanted to be one of the cool kids. So if you honestly want to sit and say you don't know it, you know it now. Do some reflection. You're always saying that you do self-reflection, but you don't. All you do is reflect and watch these videos that people do where we're telling the truth so you can figure out how to spin it and how to lie and how to cause people to hate and how to get them to give you more money because poor Reese is picked on. I would love nothing more, literally, than to never mention your name again, to never think about you, but you won't stop. You continue to hurt people I care about, people that I later become attached to and start to care about because they tell me their stories and what you've done and what you've said and how they felt. I have my own, but you know what? I'm a big girl. I can handle it. I can handle your shit. I might get mad, but you fuck with my friends and it's on, girl. And you've done it a lot. A lot. You messed with Hef. You messed with Alan. You messed with Keela, Jimena, Hockeytown John. Remember him? The guy you tried to run? All for lies with receipts proving it. There's all kinds of people that I won't even mention. Where's Blake? Hmm? Where's Blake? Your little cherub? Till he doesn't put up with your lies and your manipulation. And now, where's Blake? You called me and people that I won't speak for because they're adults and they can speak for themselves. But you called us obsessed, stalkerish, scary, demonic, mentally ill. And the worst part is, you know it's not true. You absolutely know it's not true. Like, you even tried to act like that we are like, you know, I don't even know what to call it, but like slow or, like we have learning disabilities or something. Uh, I'll put my education and my brain against yours any day. Any day. You just do that. You create these. huge, outrageous stories and lies to deflect, to draw attention off of the truth, to get these people that are following you, falling at your feet, to pay so much attention to, look at Reese. She's got to be telling the truth. Look at her. She's just like, spewing it all. No, she's not telling the truth. And one of these days, it'll be you that she's lying about. Because one of these days, you'll wake up or you'll just get tired of the, same old, same old thing day in and day out, and you'll leave. And when you do, she'll come for you. Yep. Just like Scientology. Just like Scientology. She'll bull bait the shit out of you. She'll fair game the shit out of you because you won't have your TRs in. And it shows. Who wants their TRs in? Who wants to be an expert at bull baiting? That's cult. That's not real world, Reese. Real world people don't think you don't have your TRs in. You don't, you don't know how to bull bait, and it shows. Good. Thank you, Jesus, that I don't know how to bull bait somebody. Jesus. The thing is I actually want you to succeed. I do. Or, I have. I'm less and less determined to want that. Every time that you spew more lies and more threats, I get less and less determined to see you succeed. Before I was. See, I'm a huge advocate of women succeeding in life, thriving. I taught my daughters from the time they were little to have backup plans, to have more than one way to support themselves. That it was a good thing to go to tech while you could in high school for free and get that, license to do hair or to, whatever. There's a bunch of things that they can do at what we call VOTech or what is it? I can't remember. My mind's blank. But anyway, tech, vocational tech. Yeah. So anyway, go get some kind of education while you're in high school. Use that education to work your way through college. Guess what? My girls worked their way through college. They worked their way through college, went to college, got married, raised families in school, all while able to support themselves if they needed to. And they still can if they need to. I hope they never have to do it all on their own because, I want them to be happy and healthy and have wonderful marriages and, lives and everything like I do. I mean, yeah, it hasn't been perfect forever. We've hit rough spots here and there. I think everybody does. But what happens in good marriages when you hit rough spots is you hang on. You hang on and you make it through it. And that's what we've done. And that's what I teach the girls to do. Unless it's absolutely, doomed for failure, a relationship that's abusive or, whatever, I tell them, I said, you give it your best until you can't anymore. And that's what I would tell you because I want women to succeed. I really do. And none of that, what I have said, is anti man or men or male or whatever. It's pro women. It's not anti anybody. I want men to be able to support themselves too and have wonderful lives, you know? So before you start that lie, Susie's a man hater. No, I'm absolutely not. You know what? Most of my very best friends are men. Mhm. Most of them, not all. Not all. I've made some really good friends here on YouTube, people that you will never understand the value of. Never. You're too busy lying to try to build your own value up. Another thing I don't understand is your obsession with calling us old. Again, I'm only speaking for myself, but we know there's others that are adults and can defend themselves if they so choose and have. Yeah. But I'm 58 years old. Okay. I'm not 65 like your, like, little cult likes to call me on your lives. I'm not 65, but if I was, I'd be proud of it. You know, I didn't really ever in the last 14 years or so, I didn't expect to ever reach 58. I didn't ever think I would reach 48. So, yeah, I'm proud of every year, and I'm proud. Sorry, guys, it's my bulldog. Ugh, Poppy. But anyway, I'm proud of every year. I'm proud of my life. I'm proud of everything I've done. I've made mistakes, but they've made me who I am. I have learned from them, and I'm proud of that. If you learn from mistakes, then they're not, like, for nothing, right? You learn. That's what life is about. It's not about how can I grift? How can I get, another $50 super chat? And by the way, I get super chats too. I just don't depend on them. I don't, like, solicit them. I don't mention my PayPal or whatever. It's there. I've had some amazing gifts sent to me by amazing people, and I've thanked them publicly. I don't hide it. I don't, I don't resell things. I don't do any of that. I am grateful. I've gotten, small gifts that turned into huge things. Like I got some peppermint tea that I had never liked peppermint tea, and I absolutely love this one, and I drink it daily. I was gifted this computer that I'm sitting in front of. Yeah, blew my mind when it showed up. Blew my mind. I cried and cried and cried some more. And I told people I didn't hide it. I didn't return it. So I just, whenever you constantly call me old, all I can think of is what about our subscribers? I know who some of them are. And a lot of them are either just a little bit younger than me or a little bit older than me or even a whole lot older than me. So when you're making fun of me, aren't you making fun of your fan base? Kind of feels like it. It's kind of ick. I can't imagine daily making fun of the very people that I am depending on. Not me, because I don't depend on them, but you, if I were you, making fun of the people that you depend on to send that money. So you can go buy more shirts or jackets or whatever the hell it was that don't fit and you don't like the color. And then go shopping for your son at the Goodwill. I shop at the Goodwill too, but you go to boutiques and shit for you. But the Goodwill for him. And then did you even make it there? Not last I heard. I know that I'm an old lady, but do you really think that I don't go to Pound Town? Do you think that you hold the market on that? I mean, seriously, do you think that we don't do that? I mean, we do. Probably more than you. We just don't use our cooter or audios of blowjobs. We don't use that for content. We've got a little more class than that. We respect our partners and ourselves a little more than that. So, I'm no prude. Trust me. No, not a prude at all. You wouldn't know that though, would you? Because I don't tell about my sex life because that is my private business. My private business. But we don't have any original content, and yet all you do is talk about pound towns and cooters day after day after day, and your haters day after day after day. People say, "Did you see Reese's live?" And I'll be like, "Which one?" The one that said that she goes to Pound Town and shits her pants and has a cooter and that people hate her, or the one that she said people hate her and she shits her pants and goes to Pound Town and has a cooter. I I don't know because 'cause they're both alike, they're just a little bit different. She flip-flops them around a little bit, but it's not it. It's about it. Do you hear, honestly, what you say sometimes? Like, whenever you keep talking about how old we are and how irrelevant we are? Do you see the absurdity in it? We're in our twilight years. I should be spending my final days being nice, spending time with my family, with my kids. You mean my grown kids that are married and have their own lives and their own kids and, you know, all that? Because, yeah, I still manage to spend time with them. Probably way more time than you spend with your minor son who lives in your house and can hear you talking about going to Pound Town and the blowjobs and the cooters. And if he doesn't, his friends and stuff at school can sure get on the internet and listen to it because even though I know that kids can get on there and they just lie and about their age and stuff, you won't even put it on there to try to keep them from doing it by marking your stuff that it's not for kids, which I do. My channel's not for kids. If I make a video that I think is for kids or like my granddaughter is on with me for a little bit or something, I'll mark that one where she can watch it because she likes to watch herself. She thinks it's funny, kinda like you, only not as narcissistic. She just thinks it's funny. So and she gets super chats when she's on too. Yeah, but we don't ask for them or get our mods to ask for them. But anyway, when you're sitting there and you're saying that we're in our twilight years or I'm in my final days on Earth, dun, dun, dun. Ah, I'm not dying, Reese. I'm in remission, and it could stop at any point. But even then, aren't we all dying? Isn't your mom 70? Look at her, Reese. Do you think that she is old and irrelevant? I mean, she may or may not be going to Pound Town right now because your stepdad is so sick, but she might be. I still went there whenever I was laying on my bed, suffering from chemo. Guess what? I still crawled my ass up there and did it. I got skills. But you know what? Brett Miller, because that's his name, he lost the right to be Tommy Scoville when he admitted on your little video or audio, sorry, not video. You showed it on a video, but it was an audio. When he admitted on there that he is currently conning women, when I got all those papers that proves he's a child molester, he lost the right to be Tommy Scoville as far as I'm concerned. So Brett Miller, right? How old is he? 50 something, right? Jeff Pobell. Isn't he in his late 60s now? Was in his 60s when you married him, right? And what about poor old dead Fred? Wasn't he like 95 when you married him? Something like that. He'd be like 100 now, which is awful weird because your math don't math. Like, you were with him for X amount of time and then you were with, you know, Jeffrey for such a long time, so many years or whatever. And then now you're, well, not anymore, but you were with Brett and now you're with whoever the next poor guy that you climb like a tree. But seriously, what I can't figure out is it just the men that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 100 that are sexy and relevant and I don't know, just, strong and, you know, is it just the men? So the women are really who you think just gets old once they hit what, 45 or 50? For sure. I mean, I'm 58 and I'm in my like final days. I'm in my twilight. I'm not even middle age. I am freaking about to be put out to pasture, right? Sound familiar? It's just us dried up old prudes, right? That's the ones you don't like. Are we dried up old prudes? Or are we just a little bit too classy to be talking about the shit that you talk about? See, I'm proud of my age. Like I said, I never expected to live this long. I just didn't. I always kind of thought that I would die young. Not not like my sister who was 24, but young, like, you know, 45, 50, something like that. I just kind of thought it. So it was kind of a shock, but yet not at the same time when I ended up with cancer. But oh, I forget. I shouldn't say that because apparently I use that for clicks. But why? Clicks don't pay anything. Subscribers don't pay anything. So why would I use it? I've done a video where I explained it because people kept asking me, "I wanna hear your story. Can you tell us your story?" So I did. It's part of my story. Not all of it, but I'm proud of my age. I'm proud of my life. I've had 2. One former marriage that was 17 years and one current that is now, like, 23 years. The divorce, we are like the best of friends. We're like family. He and his wife are welcome in my home anytime as I am in theirs. They were at my mom's funeral. They came to her while she was still sick. They I don't know, they're always around. They have talked about even when they didn't live so close. They live closer to us now, but when they didn't live as close, they were talking about parking their fifth wheel travel camper on our property in the summer. And so he could go on and work and she could work too, but they could be here in the evenings and on the weekends and they could swim in our pool and just hang out. We could, cook out. They could see the kids, which weren't kids by that point, but you know what I mean? The girls lived closer to me than they did to them. So, you know, I have amazing friends. I have 2 amazing daughters. I have 7 perfect grandchildren and 1 adorable great grandson. And I'm proud of every one of them. I am a damn good wife. I'm a good mom. I'm an amazing grandma. If Betta was here, she could tell you. If any of them were here, they could tell you. I'm not this hateful, sad woman that you try to make me out to be. Not. Not even close. It's all lies. I put my family first. I always have my entire life. My parents came first, my husband came first, my kids, it just evolved. But I still do take time for myself and take care of myself. And you said I needed to have hobbies, get a hobby, actually, not that I needed to have them. I needed to get a hobby. And you suggested maybe Play-Doh or coloring books. And I know that, oh, yeah, I forgot about it. Also, needlepoint. And I know that those were meant to be insults, but while they're not my hobbies, they might be some of your little cult's hobbies, right? And so again, who are you insulting? Me or them? Seems a lot like it might be them. Yeah, I prefer painting. I do a lot of it, sell a lot of it. Traveling, I've traveled a lot. I guarantee you, I've traveled a lot. And we're going to travel more very soon. I'm just waiting on Mark to retire so that we can have all the time in the world to go to all the places that we wanna go, hopefully, as long as one of us don't die, which I know you're just like, "Maybe one of 'em will die." I like to cook. I like to dance. I'll dance by myself if I have to. I like to garden. I like to go for walks. I like to swim. I like to make salsa and pasta sauce and barbecue sauce and pretty much just can anything because I have a garden. It's a great big garden and I'm in it a lot. And when I'm not, Mark is. And sometimes we're out there together, you know, spending time together. Like you said, I needed to do. Spend some time with my kids who are in their 30s and my husband, who I do spend almost every waking hour Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, Monday through Thursday, he works, but he's home with me in my bed every night. We don't live apart. We don't want to be apart. We don't have to be apart. It doesn't make our relationship tolerable to be apart. Mm. So I don't have a whole lot of time for Play-Doh or coloring books. I did used to take a coloring book with me and some coloring pencils with me to, chemo when I would go to chemo because that would be like 4 or 5 hours that I needed to waste time on, and, my I just I didn't wanna be on a screen the whole time, so sometimes I would color then. I mean, they have adult coloring books. Check them out. But, again, are you insulting me or the people that you claim to love? Because I would bet that some of them color. And I do actually play with Play-Doh sometimes when my grandkids are here. I forgot about that. Oh, well. You mocked my cancer. That was lovely. That was classy. But, I hope that you never know the struggle that I've had for 14 years that I've almost literally almost died from about, I'm thinking 5 or 6 times, I can't remember. I've had 16 surgeries in 14 years, and I went about 7 years that I didn't have a surgery. So, really, it's less than that. I continue to fight today, but I am in remission, but somehow it's not okay for me to mention that I had cancer. Well, what about your followers? If they hear you making fun of me for having cancer, what are they going to think? Are you making fun of them? Do you ever think of these things? Because I do. And that's why I keep talking about you. You mock my Christianity. Well, being a Christian doesn't make you soft, Reese. It doesn't mean that you just let people get away with everything. That's not what it means. It means you're saved and that you know that you're going to heaven when you die. That's what that means. And it means that you love the Lord and that you believe, even if it seems unbelievable, even if it takes some work, even if it's hard. But at the same time, I don't judge anybody that doesn't, because that's not my job. We're actually commanded, literally commanded to not judge. I know that sometimes you think that you're now a Christian and sometimes you don't, and that's your right. I get it. I truly do. But don't judge mine, and don't send your minions to judge mine. That's bullshit. Should I do it again? It's just it is. I don't know. I don't get it. Saying that God talked to you and told you that we are horrible people and that he is on your side, it's not really how it works. He doesn't choose sides. He knows I'm not a horrible person. He knows I'm not perfect. That's for sure. He knows I'm not horrible. And he knows that all the shit that you say is lies. And he knows that I pray for you, even though I'm so mad at you that I just want to just be like, oh, that bitch. And yeah, I cuss. That's the one really bad habit that I have is I cuss. God knows it. But I didn't find a list in the Bible that said you can't say bitch or fuck or damn or shit or bullshit or horse shit or, hell or whatever. I didn't see that list. I've read my Bible front to back a few times. Never saw that list. Being a Christian doesn't mean that I'm soft and that I just let people get away with stuff, but it does mean that I feel a very strong motivation to defend victims and to fight in defense of victims if I have to, and to try to right wrongs and to tell the truth. I don't lie for my own profit. I don't manipulate people for my profit or for anything. I really am a terrible liar because I would rather tell the truth and be in trouble than lie. That's just how I am. And I'm not good at manipulating. And if that's bad, then I'll take it. I wasn't in Scientology. And I thank God for that. I didn't learn how to do it. Maybe it's something you should unlearn. Because I don't care how you were raised. Unlearn that shit, Reese. Unlearn it. You sit there and say you don't use those. Yes, you do. Every single day. You use that. You use Scientology every damn day. It's funny. Remember the night that you did the long con video and you were scared? Or so we thought. They're going to come and kill me. They're going to come kill me and your son. You know what I was doing? I was on my computer trying to see if my cousin in Kentucky could go to Tennessee and pick you up, even if he took you to, Missouri. And then if somebody else could pick you up and bring you to Oklahoma because I thought he would never, ever expect her to come here. And even if he did, he would never be so stupid as to step foot on this property. The people on this property, we might be Democrats, but we believe in the First Amendment. We believe in that. We believe in the Fifth Amendment. We believe in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all of them. We believe in the freedom of speech. We believe in the right to bear arms. We believe in all those things. And he wouldn't dare step here. And I was trying to figure out how to get you here, even though I'm not very much in favor of you at the moment. And you had been bad mouthing me. And you were that night as I'm on my computer trying to find you a ride out of there because I knew you wanted to bring your animals. And I understand it because I wouldn't leave without mine. Before that, I was on the computer trying to find out how much I had in miles on Delta that I could put you and your son on a plane and get you here or wherever you thought would be safe. But I just kept thinking here would be safe because he would not freaking dare. That's what I was doing. I was crying. I was sick at my stomach. I had to take nausea medicine because I was worried about you, Reese. When you were bad mouthing me and bad mouthing my friends and lying, you knew he wasn't coming after you. You knew it. And when I rewatched the video later, calming down with, Mark saying, rewatch it again, you know. When I rewatched it again, I knew she's lying. This is a scam. She's a con. Tommy ain't got nothing on you. Excuse me, Brett, or whatever the hell his name is. Jesus. But you rallied your poor cult members into they were just like frothing, They were so mad at us. They were attacking us. Which ones of them were trying to get you flights out of there? Which ones of them were arranging rides for you that I had to call and cancel? Yeah, because I wasn't even going to let you know till it was in place. I was going to say, okay, my cousin is, you know, an hour out, 2 hours out, whatever. Pack some stuff. Get your shit together. Lock the doors. Carry your pew pew. I was still a little bit even after everything, I guess I was either still a little bit in the cult, or maybe it was just that I'm not a bad person, and I was just wanting to protect you and your son. But you were too busy rallying your troops, right? Your little army of fighters, right fighters, which lie fighters. And you're so stupid that you don't even know that the jackal outsmarts the bully, roaring lion. So your little metaphor about you're the lion, we're jackals. Mm, I'll take it. I'll take it. You also, which I think is funny, not ha ha funny, but ironic, kind of sick funny, that you think that my arrest 20 plus years ago, resulting in 19 and a half hours of emotional torture, basically, even some physical stuff that I would rather not revisit. You think that that's funny and it's worth a wink, you know? I don't want to write a bad check. I didn't write a bad check, bitch. I wrote a check that got blown away by a tornado and found by somebody, and nobody could find them, and it got turned in to the DA's office so that if anybody came looking for it, they could get it. And somehow it got messed up. Yeah. At my arraignment the next morning, I actually it was the next morning. I had a whole day out. But anyway, so the next when I went in for my arraignment, the judge was embarrassed and apologized profusely and ordered for my all my bail and everything because it was like a cash bail. I had to pay like, I don't know, $1,600, 1,300, somewhere in there. I don't remember. It's been like 20 something years ago. I had to pay a lot, but he ordered it refunded immediately, and it was. And guess what? We became friends. I didn't know him when it happened, but we became friends later. And he said I was welcome in his court anytime. He would do interviews with me when I had the newspaper. I mean, telling what he could because, most people don't tell stuff they're not supposed to. So, anyway. But you know what was funny about that was just right before that arrest all happened, Mark and I had a foreign exchange student that came over from Germany. We're still very close to him. He still calls me mom. We're very, very close. I have another granddaughter. I forgot about her. Oh, hope she doesn't watch this. I have 8 grandchildren and 7 that's around here that I see all the time. I've not yet met the 8th one, but I will soon. So anyway, he came on a scholarship from the German government because he's kind of a big deal there. Okay. And so we had to go through like a security check kind of thing. Like they checked everything. The German government checked us out and found that we were good enough to house this child for a year. And so, if I had really had an arrest warrant, that would have shown up really fast. So that was another thing that the judge was like, "Yeah, this is I don't know what happened. I'm incredibly embarrassed and incredibly sorry." So, but you make fun of that, right? But I happen to know that several people in your chat, several people in your audience have been arrested, have done actual time. What about them? Are you making fun of me? Are you making fun of them? And then let's go a little deeper. What about Brett? What about his, you know, or what about your little Krim? He's so hot. He's so sexy. He's got skills. He's got certain physical attributes. Ugh, barf. He's a child molester. He he confessed. I've got the papers. You who records everything and checks out everything, you know. You know. I don't believe for a fart in a whirlwind that you don't know it's true. It's another lie. But it was okay for some reason. It was okay. It was okay to bring a child molester in with your son. And even if he wasn't, interested in young boys, what about if your young boy brought girls in? We know he was interested in 15-year-old girls. We know that he was convicted of violent sexual assault on a 15-year-old. I mean, yeah, he was young. Hmm. But they say, that if they get caught once, that they've probably done it multiple, multiple times or will. Makes you wonder, huh? At least most people. I mean, he was also a thief and a drug dealer and a drug addict, and probably still, from the sounds of it, doing drugs whenever he was in your home. If we believe your tape where you said there was white powder on the toilet and he tasted it of all things. Yum, a toilet liquor. I remember, we called DOA what was it, a bucket shitter, but oh, Brett, he's a toilet liquor. Does he kiss you with that mouth? He's an arms dealer, oh, and a bank robber. But let's remember now that's singular, not plural, because he only actually robbed one bank. And he actually didn't go inside. He drove the car. Then he narked on his friends trying to stay out of trouble. It's all in the papers. And the way that you investigate everything, I can't believe you don't know all that. In your eyes, my dismissed, made up, I don't know where the hell it came from, charge made me somebody that was worthy of being mocked. But his crimes make him a crim, a sexy bad boy crim that you were going to marry, that you moved in with your son, that you brought around your parents and your sister and her children. Sick. I would love to never mention you again, but you just won't stop the attacks, Reese. You just won't stop. And I'm sorry if it makes me a bad person that I have a really hard time with turning the other cheek and just letting you slap me again or slap my friends. Like I said, being a Christian made me saved, not soft. I'm still me. I'm still gonna fight. So this pussy bitch, irrelevant loser is not stopping. Not till you do. And I'm gaining subs. When you lose 100, I gain 100. Or at least 50. Stop the grift. Stop the lies. Stop the threats. Stop the bullshit. Oh, I told you I bought it just for you. It was like $4 on Temu. If we're so freaking irrelevant, why are you so worried about us? Why do you spend half of every live you do and no telling how many hours on your little Zoom calls damning us, lying about us, threatening us, crying about us? If we're so irrelevant, why are you so worried about us? And as for my little parodies that you don't think is funny because I put on a wig and, I think that's funny. No, I don't think the wig's funny. I make it funny by putting it on and, like, making it obvious that I'm wearing a wig because, you know, I'm not trying to look like you. I really don't want to be like you. I make fun of myself by making that accent all that much stronger. Yeah. That's a little dig at myself, see, because I think that's a good sign of comedy is to be able to even laugh at yourself, and, it just kinda lightens it a little bit. It seems much more parody than mean if I, you know, laugh at myself too. I was gonna quit. I was gonna quit, even though I'm not joking, I probably get 50, 60, maybe more requests for them a week. Yeah. I was gonna quit. But since you like them so much, since you find them so humorous and everything, I think I'll keep doing them. I think I will. Give you something to watch. Oh, and the other night, whenever I had my little breakdown and I cried, I guess only Reese is allowed to cry. She's the only one allowed to have an emotional moment. You know why I was crying? Because 5 of your cult members sent me death threats while I was still on the live. 3 of which I recognize the names. All 5 of which have been turned over to law enforcement, for real law enforcement, not fake law enforcement. And my lawyer, a real lawyer, not just a fake one. Lawyers and law enforcement that give me good advice, not what you tell that they tell. So, I'm gonna sign off now, and I decided to sign this Barbara Walters, who is a tough, take no shit journalist that I always looked up to a lot. But that's because 'cause I'm old, and you probably don't even really know who she is other than that she was a journalist. Somebody probably told you that. And Paula Deen. Imma sign off as Paula Deen too. 'Cause Paula Deen's my friend. She might be watching right now. Hi, Paula. Michael. I could name them all. 'Cause, this irrelevant, old bitch. Pussy. Well, you know what? Pussies are pretty tough. They take a pounding, and I can take a pounding. That's why I was crying the other night. Was those death threats set me right back to where I was a few years ago whenever I got death threats in the newspaper. Yeah, or not in the newspaper, but because of the newspaper. Yeah, put me right back to that when I was being shot at. I had my windows shot out of my vehicle twice and while I was driving. Mhm. Threats of burning my house down, just like one of your cult members threatened, with me in it, just like one of your cult members threatened. So, yeah, I was a little emotional. My mods were all upset and freaking out for varying reasons. I was freaked out over the mistake that AI made. Sammy was freaking out. We were all freaking out. You know who wasn't freaking out? Reese. Mm-mm. Reese, the one that called one of the victims the Marlboro Man. Reese that talked about that they were ugly. I'm not afraid of you cheating on me. I know what she looks like. Oh, girl. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Got one more signature to make, and that's Susie. Bitch. Susie.